Hello and welcome to a new video in the Excel function series. Today I want to talk about two functions, about the TOCOL and the TOROW function. And those functions are for turning arrays, or it's also working with ranges, into either a single column, TOCOL, or a single row, TOROW. And what they're doing, I want to show you quickly. So we have here an array of numbers. And if I use TOCOL on this array, then it's a single column. If I'm using TOROW, it's a single row. Also done as a dynamic array. There are also two arguments. I will talk about the second one in an instant, but first scan by column. So as you can see here, the default mode is to go by row. But if we change this to true, then it's going by column. Also for the TOROW function, if we scan this by column, it will go this direction instead of going in that direction. Now, I've also told you it is working not only with arrays, but also with ranges. And here is a range with three specialties. First, I have here a 100% blank cell. Then I have here a cell where there is something in what is not empty, but I will talk about it shortly, and an error forced by the error function, but this might also be a error, for example, this divided by 0, and you know you cannot divide by 0 mathematically. So if I then use the TOCOL function on this range, and here this ignore optional argument, either the default is keep all values, do nothing, and then there are two modes to ignore, or three modes to ignore blanks, to ignore errors, and to ignore blanks and errors, and the most used mode is the third one. And you see here, it is ignoring this cell here where there is really nothing in, and it is ignoring the error code. If it would change it to 2, then it would only ignore this cell, and so on. And here, the problem with Excel is that there are different behaviors of what is empty. I will also link one of my videos up there in the corner where you can watch this, because Excel is treating empty cells not always as empty cells. You see, actually this is an empty cell. There is no space, there is nothing in there except for, this might also be the result of a calculation, except for this quotation marks with nothing in there. But actually, Excel is treating this as a non-empty cell. You can also use blank, will return false for this, but true for this cell. And actually, the TOCOL and TOROW function are using this blank method, and therefore, yeah, you might have some errors there if you do not watch closely. But besides from that, useful functions, especially if you want, for example, have two arrays. One is an argument array, and one is the array you want to filter about. If you know the filter function, you cannot filter based on two like larger arrays, and therefore you might want to use then TOCOL for the first argument of the filter function and TOCOL for the second one to use it, or else. So small but useful functions. Thank you for your attention. I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.